So we did it, ladies and gentlemen. We have successfully created Serum inside of Cardinal Modular Synth. So it sounds like this. Before I walk you through the patch and recreate it, let's take a quick look at what Serum is actually made up of. If you go up to the Serum, you can actually click on the name Serum and you can choose a different window size. So let's just go from the top to the bottom, then we'll get into the effects. So in the top left, there is a sub oscillator. There's a direct out button as well. You got to turn this to be able to turn it on. You can choose the different waves and stuff. So this is just a sine wave. And that's what we're going to do. It's just going to be a sine wave sub oscillator that we're going to have in Cardinal. Down here is the noise, but the noise is actually a sampler. So this just plays samples, so you could actually load up your own sample within here. There is wavetable, oscillator A, wavetable, oscillator B. There is a filter right here in the top right. Bottom left is the amp envelope. And right here is the LFOs, and then down here is like the portamento, the voicing. Right here at the FX. We're not going to do hyperdimension. We have distortion, flanger, phaser, chorus, delay, compressor, reverb, EQ, and filter. So that's basically what creates Serum. So I'm going to walk you through the patch really quick of Cardinal, and then we will recreate it. I just did some minor EQ stuff for the Cardinal thing patch that I created, and then with a little side chaining to the drums. The drums are actually from Reason. The only thing that's in there is actually I could solo this and hit play. So that's what I created, and I'm going to have this patch available in the description if you guys want to download it, and then so you can have your own thing, because what I'm going to recreate isn't going to be this. I'm just going to show you a little bit of each of the modules, what they can do and how to plug it in, and so you can recreate Serum. So I'm going to take this off of solo, and now I can open this again, and then now we can get into the stuff. So right over... Let's start right here. So here's a sine wave. I'm using this as a sub oscillator. Right here next to it is the sampler, which I said which has the noise in it. Here is the first wavetable. That would be wavetable A. Here is wavetable B. And then there is the filter. This is the top main page of Serum. Underneath it is the amp envelope right here, the ADSR, followed by the LFO. It's called Shape Master. It's a really cool LFO tool. Down here is a slew limiter, portamento effect. And then here's the effects. I have distortion, phaser, flanger, reverb, compressor, delay, chorus, and EQ. You could run another filter if you wanted to, but since we already have the filter, I just decided not to do it. And then it's just running through the out. So let's create a new patch, initialize the patch, and we will recreate this. All right, here's the initialized patch. So what we're going to do is we are going to select this, just click and drag, and then hit the backspace on it. Now we are going to move some stuff around. We want the Cardinal host right up here, and then the MIDI host right up here. We want the amp envelope down here, because here's going to be our top main page of our Serum. So instead of this VCO, the regular thing right here, we are going to right click and we are going to put in a sine right here. So this is going to be our sub oscillator right here. We could actually click the 0 where it says octave and just drag down, and so it's -1. Now we can go into our out right here, which is connected to the control voltage in. So the only thing that needs to change is the volts per octave needs to, I'm actually going to delete this right here. So if we just go here, we can just backspace and delete it. So I'm actually going to grab the portamento real quick, which is called a slew limiter, which is, I have it right here. I'm under my favorites, but I'm going to give you the name. So it's by Bogue Audio, and it's called a slew limiter. So I'm going to connect this. So what I'm going to do is get the volts per octave, and it's going to go into the in. And then from out, we're going to go into the volts per octave, into the sine wave. The left is going to go in. Okay, so this is our amp envelope right here. So take the, oops, TV, needs to go off. Where was I? I was turning something down. Oh yeah, right here. So the attack all the way down. Sustain all the way down. I'm going to create kind of like a little pluck or whatever. I'm going to turn the decay a little bit up, the release a little bit down. Okay, now we have ourselves a sub oscillator. So let's plug in the wavetable. Show the wavetable is right here by Surge XT wavetable VCO. So now we have this, and then we need a VCA to go with it. And then I'm going to actually do another one, wavetable, and then another VCA. So here's our two wavetables. Now we can take the volts per octave out, right click, and just grab the wire, put it in here, and do it again. And just do green for this. And then now the left is going to go into the in. Left to the end. This one, I'm going to do like a yellow. It's going to go to the control voltage. Yellow to the control voltage. Out to, oh, we don't have a mixer yet. Okay, so I'm going to right click and we're going to do mixer 8 channel by AS. So instead of having this plugging into the Cardinal, this is our sub oscillator. It's going to go into channel 1. Our wavetables, actually, let's scoot this over so, because we're going to have a sampler in here pretty soon. We are going to have our out. I'm going to put this, the first oscillator is going to go into 3. The second one's going to go into 4. And with the sub oscillator, not the sub oscillator, with the wavetables, you can just click the arrows and it'll go to different things. Okay, we don't have sound because we didn't plug it in. Okay, let's plug this in. Okay, so we can just click over. See, we have portamento if you do kind of like a lower note, then a higher note. And you can change the rise of it if you want. And same with the fall with there. But what we're going to do now, I'll go a little bit into the wavetables. So if you click on the actual name, you can go into different ones. Like you could do like a sampled one and go to like mallet 2. So if we wanted to load our own wavetable, you click on the name of it and then you go to load wavetable, and that's going to take you to your little window thing into your computer. I'm just going to load up one from Serum. Just go to the tables, spectral, and we can do grimace. Open. Okay, whatever. Like I said, I'm not going into some sound design stuff. I'm just going to show you guys how to plug stuff in. Okay, so let's do the sampler next. So what I'm going to do is right click, and then we have a sampler right here from Lomas Advanced Sampler. We also need a VCA to go with that. So we're going to do the gate right here into the play button. From out, we are going to go to the in of here. We need the control voltage. So we'll do another yellow. Into the control voltage. Out is going to go into right here. So to be able to load a sample, you go to load, and then I'm going to go to my desktop and then do, I have a thing called pink noise. There we go. So you can hear the pink noise now. We can solo these. There's the pink noise, but I want to turn it down because I don't want too much. There we go. So by clicking these, that's a mute. These are mute buttons down here in case you want to mute one of your channels. All right, yeah, just adds a little bit of noise to it. Okay, so next we're going to run everything through a filter. So let's right click and then go to Filter by Surge XT. So the sine waves by Surge XT too. The sub oscillator that I'm using. So let's go to the filter. Now I want to run all of this stuff through the filter. So in this case, you remember how I told you there was a direct out on like the there's one on the sampler, there's one on the sine wave. This would be this situation right here. I would not have that that button selected. This is not a direct out. If so, I would run a different mixer that would bypass all the effects that I'm going to be putting on. So let's go ahead and run the filter here. So this is the right. So we're going to put this into the right. This is going to be the left. And then out. You go straight into here. And then now, everything's ran through the filter. There's the res right here. Frequency. So what we're going to do now is introduce the LFO. I'm going to move this over. Where's the... Okay, I'm going to move this back to right here. Right click. And then we have a thing called Shape Master by Mind Meld. Okay, we need the gate to be plugged in here of this. So let's right click, get an orange cable, run it into the, it says TG right here, trigger gate or whatever, but this is going to trigger the actual signal for this thing to go. So right now it's going to be just constantly moving like an LFO, because usually LFOs on their own, if you just plug them in, it's just constantly, it's just it's an oscillator is what it is. It's just a really low frequency oscillator. So you can set this to the way that the LFO is going to perform. So there's auto, which means it's always going to be on in this case. So if we take the control voltage and then we're going to put it into the modulation right here. See how it's always going? And it's going at the speed. There's a thing called length down here. I can actually zoom in a bit. So here it says length. So if we turn this down, it'll go faster. To the right, it'll go slower. So what I want is a bit faster, and we're going to take this and we're going to ramp it down like this. And then where it says trigger, you can go to trigger gate. So the way that I zoomed in, I hold control on your keyboard, and then with your mouse wheel, just zoom in and out. That's how I did that. So now, with the modulation right here, so if I hit a note on my keyboard, notice how there's no modulation. So to be able to do this, we would go hit mod. Now you click and you drag down. Now we have the modulation of the shape of the LFO is controlling the way the modulation performs on the frequency of this filter. Does that make sense? So if we change this, or if we ramp it the opposite way, wait. There we go. Here, let's... Come on now, what's happening? How do you move this thing? See, now it's going the opposite way. I don't know why this thing ain't... Oh, there we... I don't know, man. I don't even know what's going on in life. Do I? I'd like to think I do. There's an exponential ramp. Come on now. Whatever. There we are. Okay, here we are. That's what I was looking for. It's the opposite. So when the modulation starts, it goes the opposite way. So it's going to go whoop up instead of down, but I actually wanted the thing down in the first place. And then this one can go down like this. Okay. So we want the modulation. So all I have to do is just click and drag. The mod has to be on. If I unclick this and I move this, this thing's, see how the blue's moving? If I unclick this, that's going to move. I don't want that much modulation, but I want it to be faster. So remember, we click this down. Okay, then we could... Good enough, because we're not doing sound design. I got to remember so the video isn't super long. Okay, so that's how you run the filter. We already spent enough time on this little shape master thing. Okay, so we're going to go back to the wavetable, and we're going to add some modulation to the actual tables themselves. So we can take the control voltage right here. We can do the second one too. I'm actually going to show you to do the second one just in case, so you can have the ability to add as many as you want. Go to the gate again, add another thing to there. Go to 2, and then with 2, once we plug this in, watch what happens. Absolutely nothing. Interesting. This was... Oh, here we go, 2. Okay, I was like, what? What happened? Okay, so this is how you click on the 2, and then if you do the third one, you would do 3 and so forth, like there. So remember, I'm going to zoom in. We're going to go to trigger, and go to the trigger gate, and then with the length, you can speed it up, and then just, boom, ramp down. And then we can go up to our first wavetable, and you can go into the modulation because we plugged the control voltage, into the modulation port of our wavetable 1. So to be able to modulate this wavetable going through the frames, you would click modulation. Now you go to the morph. Now it's going to morph a little bit. So I'm going to do it big. And then you can undo this and then change to what part of the table you want. So I don't want that much modulation. Okay, that works. And then I'm actually going to do the same for 2 again. So just right click. We just grab a green cable and go into the mod of oscillator 2. And then we can modulate this one. Modulate. Okay, cool. So I'm going to zoom back out again. Now we can move on to distortion. So distortion is going, I'm actually going to run both of these up again. We're going to have all our stuff over here. So let's do distortion. So we have distortion right here. So to be able to run this, I'm taking from the filter into the distortion right here. So let's go left and then right, and then this would go out, left and right. So see how you can get different some pretty aggressive bass right there, but I don't want to go into tons of stuff, so I'm just going to go to the initialize and just turn the drive up a little bit. There's EQ here, so this is being cut off. So let's just leave it there. Let's run to the next effect, which is going to be, let's run it into a flanger, I guess, or a phaser. So we would go left into the left, right into the right, and then this would go into here. So now we got a phaser. Let's do a flanger next. So let's run this left, right goes into here. Let's hear what this sounds like. So we can take the rate and turn it down all the way, just so it's not so gnarly, but you can go through the different presets. That's fine. Let's run it through some more stuff. Let's go into a chorus. So you go left into the left, right into the right. Just like the other stuff, you just click in and go. That's fine. Now let's do a reverb. This plateau is awesome, but watch what happens when we plug it in, man. It starts off pretty huge, so go to the left and then to the right. Right out. Left out. Too big. Here's the wetness. We can turn down the wetness. Here's the size. Decay. I think the portamento is a bit too much. If you double click, it'll go back to the factory setting. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Next, we are going to run it through. Let's see here. How about a delay? So with the delay, it's the right and then the left on there. So to be able to not make it so it's so like see, take the right and let's turn it down to like 255. There you go. So you can run it through the delay, you know. Let's go ahead and probably do like a compressor. Where is our compressor? Maybe I didn't favorite the compressor, so this would be a good thing to show you how to actually search for stuff. So if you go to favorites, you can go to right here and just click compressor. Let's just use compressor by MSH Hack. Show, we can just left and then to the right, and then left goes to here, right goes to here, and then now you can take the threshold. That when you bring it up, it's like bringing the threshold down. I don't see the compressor going. Oh, the ratio maybe. There we go. I'm like, how come it isn't working? I'm going to turn the output down. You can see the blue is it's how much it's compressing, but it doesn't even show you the decibels or anything, so who knows what's going on in life. So that's how you run it through a compressor. I'm trying to think of anything else. I'm going to delete this, go back to the favorites. Let's see here. Did we run it through pretty much everything? Forgot to go over the EQ on this. So what I did here, so here's all our effects. The last thing that we did was the compressor. So you would just take the left of the compressor and bring it to the 1 through 8. But in this case, the last thing I plugged in was the chorus, and that's why the I have the left plugged in through the 1 and 8, and then through the 1 to 8, I have plugged in just to the host audio. And then from here, this is the first band. It's like a 4-band EQ on here. So let's do like the higher frequencies. So what you can do here is you can mess with the gains right here. This, not the gains, but this is the frequency that you want. Let's just say you want like 5128, and then you want to bring it up a little bit. So take it and then take it up. But it's shelved right now because the Q is so small. You can pitch it up right here, but if you want like kind of the bells, you can go to the 2 mid ones like I have right here. So if we want this to go down a little bit, you can turn it up, and then the Q goes kind of fatter, bigger. This thing is, yeah. So anyways, you could just mess with the different EQs on here. So anyways, yeah. All right, now I'm done. Peace.